Okay, welcome to another live grading with OG. Let's get started. Okay, so first up, we have Ultimate Spider-Man. It's Miles Morales. His first card, I believe, is that's what I was told. The 2012 Marvel Upper Deck. Okay, so first off, this card does not have any defined centering points. There's no border to measure from. So therefore, I will be using the eye appeal standard to determine the centering on this card. And this card passes. Okay, so let's get to grading. Pretty cool design on this card. See, Miles Morales has kind of gotten a lot more popular over the last few years since Enter the Spider-Verse. Okay, so let's get to grading. So I'll be using my 10x magnifying glass, and I will start in the corners and check down through the edges. Notice this, some of these Marvel cards have like a reverse bend to them to baseball cards. Makes the corners look a little funny. So I'll have to be extra careful, make sure there's no thickness issue. Now the corners look good. Again, with that, you can see the curvature is towards me, whereas most cards would be curved away. Makes the corners stand out a little funnier. Okay, so let's check the surface condition. Okay, surface looks good. Looks really good. Just double checking under my thumb with the light on and light off. That is a cityscape behind the card. Thought it was just blocky design. Looks to be a little bit of surface chipping. At the corner. I think it's just the curvature of the card. Let's look at that real close. Some minor chips. All right, so let's look at that. Everything else on the surface of this card was perfect. No scratches, no other chips. Minor surface chip at the, sorry, making sure the light was on. At the bottom just minor chip visible from the front. As you can see, looking closely at these at the corners from the edges, the thickness is consistent. So there's no flaring at these corners. Just minor chips on the surface right there. Okay, let's inspect the back of the card now. Okay. Again, starting with the corners. And then I'll be running down from corners to edges again. And I'm taking special care on this card. The corners still look good from the back as well. Again, that same even thickness across the edge to the corner. All right, now let's inspect the surface. Yeah, it looks like another minor chip at the back surface here as well. We'll look at that together closer in a moment. And another minor chip, some white at the bottom here. Okay, it's the light on, and now inspect the light off. This really helps to show any scratches that are on a different layer of the card. All right, so let's just look at those two minor chips. So right there, see a little bit of white, but of course, as you look at the corner itself, it has consistent thickness. It's not a flare. And the same with this corner. There's a minor chip, but the actual corner itself is not flared. Okay, so these are all minor surface conditions, surface issues. Looks like this card may be prone to flaring, even with just taking in and out of a penny sleeve. So if you do have this 2015 Upper Deck, be careful with, or 2012 Upper Deck, sorry. This one looks like it lucked out, however, so let's review this card. There was only a few minor chips on the surface, front and back of this card. And because of those minor chips, this card still grades as a Gem Mint 10. Okay, let's record that. Okay, next card up. This is Kyle Kuzma. Okay, this card is a 2017, 2018 Panini Donruss. Okay, so this card does have a defined left and right border, so I will be measuring that using my digital caliper. Okay, so I do measure in millimeters, although that's arbitrary, of course. The unit just has to be consistent. Millimeters gives nice nice numbers, nice 3-digit numbers. Okay, 455. Plug that in. That will be by $442. A 5149 centering. The left-right centering in this card is measures very good. The top-bottom is, of course, not consistent with the other features on the card. So therefore, I will be using eye appeal standard. And it passes top and bottom. Okay, so this card is Gem Mint eligible. All right, let's get to grading. Looks like a minor amount of surface conditions, surface irregularities, top left. All right, so let's start to inspect. Okay, so again, I'm going to start in the corners and run down through the edges. Okay, the corners all look sharp. No thickness issues. Okay, so let's start inspecting the surface. All right, just as I said before, there's just a little bit of surface irregularities up here. We'll look at that together with the fixed magnifying glass, but I think that translates from right there. Maybe a minor chip, black area by his face. Let me see if it's just dust. Nope, just dust. Nice. We'll happily blow some dust off the cards, but we are not going to recondition your cards. A minor dimple between his legs. And a little bit of surface irregularity, bottom right. Okay, now another pass with the light off. Okay, nothing else is visible from that. Okay, so let's just look the little bit of surface irregularities in the top left and the bottom right. Get the light just on that. Just right. And you can see those three up above rated rookie. Little tiny spots. And then down here as well. The surface, this bottom left. See it. Little tiny, like a streak, and another little streak. Just a couple of minor surface irregularities. And then there's a dimple, a minor dimple as well. There, it hits the light just right. Okay, so let's inspect the back of this card now. Same thing, I'll be looking at the corners. And edges at the same time, running from corner to edge, corner to corner, running through the edge. Okay. Again, the corners and the edges look very good on this card from the back. All right, now to inspect the back surface. It looks like a minor chip at the bottom right back surface of this card as well. Get a closer look at that. Does not appear to be any thickness issue, however, just the chipping at the corner on the surface. Okay. And there is a minor dimple as well. All right, another pass. Minor dimple here under the next to the 174 basketball. We'll look at that together with the fixed magnifying glass. Yeah, the other ones are de minimis. Okay, let's check underneath my thumb. Looks clean. Okay, so let's look at the first one. Obvious little dimple next to the basketball there. You can see how that depressed the surface a little bit. And then down here, this is the little chip area, little white. Let's take a look there together. For any thickness issues. It looks consistent. It's like it was maybe almost a flare, but not quite. Just chipped the surface. Okay, so let's review this card. All right, so the centering on this card made this gem mint eligible. There was a few surface conditions on the front and then a few more on the back. Because of those issues, this card grades as a 9 mint. All right, so let me record that and then move on. Okay, next up, we have a Shohei Ohtani. This is the Panini Chronicles Titan. Oh, cool. This is a numbered card, 170 out of 199. This card, so talk about centering. There's no defined borders on this card. So I will be using the eye appeal standard to determine the centering eligibility of this card. And this card passes for eye appeal and is gem mint eligible. Okay, at first glance, there does not appear to be any noticeable issues. Okay, let's get to inspecting. Start with the corners, of course. Run corner to corner, inspect the edges at the same time. Okay, looks like the corners and edges are clean. There's no flaring. So 4 sharp corners. Okay, so let's get to inspecting the surface. First pass with the light on. Looks like a minor dimple right by his head. Let me spray that and see if it's just dust. It's very small, very minor. And it must have been dust. Good. It's like a minor surface irregularity on this right side. We'll look at that together in a moment. Okay, first pass with the light on. Second pass, light off. And checking underneath my thumb. Okay, let's look at that one minor surface irregularity. See if I can pull it up on the right side. Ooh, does not reflect the light well. a minor chip / surface irregularity just above my finger. Maybe a little dimple. Okay. It's the only thing of note on the front of this card. All right, let's inspect the back. Again, re-inspecting the corners. And the edges. Okay, they still look clean from the back. All right, so now let's check the surface. Okay, with the light on and then the light off. Very nice, clean looking back surface. Getting under my thumb again. Okay, so let's review this card. The back was clean. So this card only had one very minor dimple. Because of that, this card grades as a Gem Mint 10. Okay. Okay, so let's move on to the next card. We have Mike Trout, Panini Prism Instant Impact. Looks like an orange parallel. Okay, so this card, similar to the last card, does not have a defined left, right, or top and bottom border, and therefore I will be using the eye appeal standard to determine the centering eligibility of this card. And this card passes and is Gem Mint eligible. Pretty interesting color. All right, so let's get to inspecting this card. Starting with the corners and edges. A little bit of fibers on this one. Let's see if that blows off. It's just some dust. There's too many fibers on the edge that will detract from the card, but just a couple is not a big deal. And if they blow off, it's just like dust. We're not going to take points off for you for dust. All right. Corners and edges look good from the front. All right, let's do the surface now. Okay. Wow, pretty nice. There is minor dimple on this right side. We'll look at that together in a second. That only stands out because I had the light off. Very nice card. Front is a really good condition, but let's look at that minor dimple. Let's see if it stands out. There we go. Very, very minor. Almost invisible. See, not even noticeable from there. Not until the light just hits it right. They're still very, very small. All right, let's inspect the back of this card. Again, I'm going to run from the edges, from the corners down through the edges, back to the opposite corner. From the back, these edges look even cleaner. They were a little hairy on the front, but not too bad. Really not enough to make a note of. All right, let's inspect the back surface now. Okay, looks a minor surface irregularity, bottom right. Let me double check it's not dust. No, that came right off. Just some dust. It's nice. It's distracting having even just a little bit of dust, but as long as it blows off, then that's acceptable. All right, so let's review this card. The back was clean otherwise. This card just had very minor dimples on the front surface of this card. Because of those minor issues, this card's grade is a Gem Mint 10. Okay, well, thanks for watching. Thank you for submitting your cards to OG. We'll get them live graded for you if that's what you request. That is one of the services we offer. So please like and subscribe. We do these live gradings quite a bit. Try to be consistent on Thursdays, but sometimes other things come up. We're working together possibly tomorrow with another giveaway with another breaker. But check that out tomorrow. You'll get more details about that later. All right, so thank you for watching, and have a great day.